Hey, happy Sunday. Hopefully I can be heard. I'm doing this in a different place. I'm in a different location than I normally am. I am in a really creepy horror movie location. It's kind of scary back here. And if you think it's scary right here, you should see around the corner. It gets even creepier. But you can hear me, right? Just want to test. If somebody could post up in the comments, let me know if you can hear me. That'd be nice. Uh, can you hear me? Okay, cool. I can be heard. Thank you. So yeah, I'm actually up here at work. You guys want to see something really spooky? The back rooms of the mall. The nightmare location. It gets pretty creepy back here. There's also a bunch of dead roaches back there. Uh, Pretty much perfect to make a horror movie in. So I might have to do that. It is very Dawn of the Dead vibes back there. There's all these like staircases that I don't know where they go to, and yeah, it gets pretty creepy. So, but yeah, I brought you here today. I asked you guys to come in because today is a big day for 80s Projects fans, um, and there's going to be stuff happening. But basically, um, I'm announcing the volume 2 of the book, 1981. I got my test copy. There it is. Looks very similar to the first one. I tried to keep it very uniform. My test copy had a little bit of an error because they messed up the title on the side. It'll be fixed on the actual copy. But as you can see, try to keep it similar because I want these to be on a bookshelf and look like a set of encyclopedias going down and have that nice uniformity and have it all look, like a whole set. So once again, it is a hardcover. Once again, it is full color. It's using the same type of cover the previous one did. It's using the same pages that the other one did. But some improvements have been made in the book. I listened to you guys. I had you guys talk about some of the things about the first one. And the biggest thing that I listened to was this version has page numbers. And in the back of the book, there's now an index. So if you want to know where a specific movie that came out that year, if you just want to go directly to a movie, you can just find it on the index, which is alphabetical, and then just go to the page number much easier than you could on the first one. Also, I had it suggested that the black videotapes on the black ranking background was a little hard to see, so they're now red, so that makes it a little bit clearer. Somebody suggested that I add in a country of origin and say where it's from. So there's a little flag that lets you know on each entry now to tell you what country that the movies came from. So definitely some different things in here, but for the most part, I tried to keep it fairly similar to the other one, but just make some improvements that made it a little bit easier to see and read and access to use as a sort of an index to do. But yeah, came out pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with it. It's about the same length as the other one. This one is about 274 pages long, and it covers everything that you saw in the 1981 videos, but also gets a little bit more in depth. Had to add quite a bit of stuff to fill up some space and add some more details, plus my rankings. On the show, when I give the rankings and talk about the cultural significance, it's usually about time for one sentence. But here, you've got a whole paragraph of me talking about my ranking of the movie a little bit more, explaining it a little bit further, a little bit more in depth on the significance. And just like in the last volume, again, should you watch it, but then we'll also tell you if there were sequels to the film and if there was any remakes to it. That was all, those things were in the previous ones, and they are returning here. So that is now available. We'll talk about how you can get this right now. I haven't placed my order yet. I'm going to do the pre-orders first. How you can pre-order your book, and this will be the only way to get them early, and then other than that, they will have to be ordered through the site itself or something like Amazon or whatever. And this will be the only way to get a signed copy with the deluxe sticker. So if you would like a copy, if you'd like to pre-order one, I have the instructions down below in the description. But basically all you need to do is either go to Venmo or PayPal. I should stress that this is that the pre-order is sadly only for the continental United States. I still have not figured out a good, easy way to do shipping overseas without it costing $30 or something like that for me to ship these books. It costs more than the book itself for me to ship the book. So it seems to be better to just order it from whatever sites that it's available from, like Amazon or Blackwell's or whatever is available over there to order it. But if you would like one, just go to Venmo and do it to at Movie Timelines, or go to PayPal and do it to Josh Spiegel at 007 at Gmail. That's my PayPal account on there. And all you can do, just purchase it. It is $36 for the regular edition or $41 for a signed copy with a sticker. Basically, it's the price of the book plus the $6 shipping, and then the deluxe version is an extra $5 for the signature and sticker. And yeah, you can get them. And then basically for the next couple of days, I'll just be accepting orders, and then I'll make my order to the publisher to get them to come to me, and then I will ship them out to you guys. It takes them a couple of weeks, so I would say you'll probably get your copy in about 3 weeks is what it is. But so please, if you get the chance, go down and pre-order those today or tomorrow or whenever you're watching this. I actually see in there we got some questions. Would you consider doing books on the 30s and 40s projects? And that is a very good question, because I have some other things that are being worked on right now. Not only is this available right now, but in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have the sci-fi edition for 1980 and 1981, which is a shorter book. It's, I think, only about 170 pages. It's going to be less expensive. I'm still going to do it in the same format, so it's still going to be hardback. I haven't done the pricing on it yet because they charge me by pages, and then I have to factor out how much it goes from there. But so it'll probably be less. I'm not sure if it's going to be $24.95 or if, based on the page count, if it'll be like $19.95. It'll be less expensive because it'll be less thick than this. But that'll be coming in just a couple of weeks. The next one that is coming, which I probably plan to have around Halloween, is the 30s Project book. That is in works right now. I'm actually about 20% done writing it. I still have a lot to go on it, so it's still a work in progress. But the 30s Project book will be the complete 30s. It'll be more in-depth than the show's got, and more details and history on there. That is coming next. I'm sure that there'll be a 40s project coming as well, book, when that is done. After that is out, then I will probably start working on the 1982 book. I don't know if that'll be out before the ending of the year or if it'll be out at the beginning of next. But yeah, there's definitely some stuff coming up. But for right now, this is what we are looking at. The lovely 80s project, The Horror of 1981. Again, if you would like a copy, the instructions are right down below in the description. And Sean said, am I based in Los Angeles? I am. I am actually in Los Angeles. I'm in the South Pasadena area is where I generally live, although right now I'm in Glendale. But yeah, I've been in Los Angeles since 2008 is when I moved here. And I don't see myself leaving anytime soon. I love it here. I know people like to crap on LA, and it is certainly an expensive city, but I love it. I mean, I just can't imagine leaving it. Chuck wants to know if there's a time limit for pre-orders. There's really not. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm probably placing the order on Thursday or Friday. That doesn't mean that I won't take any orders after that, but I'm trying to have everyone have their orders in by Wednesday of this week. in order for me to place the order, because I'm going to place my order based upon how many pre-orders that I have and go from there. So there's not really a set time limit, but more of a general one that will be had. But yeah, I'm excited about the book. One nice thing about working here is that I've had some more time to work on writing, and I've been able to do some stuff. And I've been able to work on the books on my in-between customer times. That's been pretty cool, and working on some episodes. I haven't gotten to watch as many movies, so the time crunch on watching movies has been a little bit tougher. But I am, just give you guys a heads up, I have finished watching everything for the month of October now. So I'm writing all those episodes. All of the episodes for September are now shot, but I have a lot of editing to do on the September episodes. That's what I'm going to be working on for the next 2 weeks, just editing all of the September episodes. I've begun watching some movies. I'm going to start watching movies for November episodes pretty soon. So I'm just trying to get some stuff done in ahead. Mama Soros wants to know if I'll be doing a future in the 50s and 60s projects on YouTube. Most likely, yes. I haven't quite nailed that down yet. The 50s project I have started to plot out. I was considering for a while doing it like I did with horror and splitting it and doing horror and sci-fi, but I think I'm going to be doing one unified thing, because horror and sci-fi were pretty unified in the 50s. They were kind of the same thing, so there's not a lot of crossover. So I think I'm going to be doing all the horror and sci-fi together for the 50s, which will make it a longer project, but I still don't think it'll be more than like 20 episodes or so. There still wasn't a ton of movies like there were later on. Karen wants to know, can I pre-order from the UK? Sadly, I can't yet. The shipping on the to overseas is insanely expensive. You will be able to order from the UK when it becomes available through the other sites, which I think happens in a week or two. So you'll be able to order a standard edition from it, much like you can the first volume as well. I should also point out that if you do want the first volume, if you want volume for 1980 as well, if you don't already have that, if you would also like that, you can purchase it the same way that you purchased this one. Just simply make sure that you send me an email to let me know that you're interested in one of, an 81 or an 80, to clarify which copy that you were interested in. But also, I wanted to come back. I realized I didn't say this. The 60s project I don't have plans for yet. I haven't even thought about that at the moment, because it would still be a ways off. But I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how it goes with the 40s and the 50s. We'll see how that comes along. But I would love to just keep on going, do the 50s, do the 60s, do the 70s, and then obviously when the 80s are done, just move right on to the 90s. It'd be great to just kind of do that. The 90s get a little crazier because there's just so many movies that are released, because that was when the home market exploded. So it'd be pretty tricky to get into that. But we might be attempting it. I guess we'll see what happens. Because the 80s, believe it or not, there was still a couple of years where there weren't that many releases. Like 1983 and 1984 are both somewhat limited with the releases that they have. And it isn't until I think like 1987 where the releases start to get like, oh, okay, this year is going to be like 15 or 16 episodes instead of 10. So it gets a little nuttier. But so we'll see where to go from there. But even with working the job, I'm still trying to get you as much content and as much fun as possible. I know this Friday you've got an unanswered questions video that's coming up that is timed with the release of a certain other film that is coming out to talk about some questions for. next Monday, we've got a really cool Dead Last that is coming out that is inspired by a couple of releases that are coming out as well too. Um, what else is that? And that there's the first episode of the 1983 sci-fi project comes out next Friday. And 83 had some really solid hits for sci-fi. There's some really cool stuff. So far, I got to tell you, in terms of just overall movies to enjoy, the horror stuff for 1983 so far has been really good. I haven't yet. Somebody in the comments had mentioned talking about how he didn't think that there'd be any 5 tape movies for 1983. And I think that that's actually probably true, because I don't think that there's anything in 1983 that I'm like, this is one of the best movies ever made. Because I gave a 5 to The Shining, I gave a 5 to Evil Dead, I gave a 5 to The Thing. Like, those are 5 movies for me. To get a 5 in my world, it has to be like one of the best movies I've ever seen. And 1983 has a lot that are really good movies, but aren't quite there. And you'll see as it goes on. I know we already covered Videodrome in the first episode, and that's probably one of the best movies of the year. And I didn't even give that a 5. So again, I think that there's going to be pretty limited, but that's pretty much it. I wanted to sort of keep this kind of short and just, obviously talk about this guy right here, the 80s Project book for 1981, which I'm super excited about, which starts with, it begins with Night of the Zombies, and it goes all the way down to the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life, Night of Horror. And everything in between. And yeah, there's some really great stuff in here. It's chock full of stuff, information, and of course some pictures in there that I could sneak in there. Sometimes throwing in some extra movie posters, and a lot of fun stuff. So I think you'll enjoy it. If you enjoyed the first volume, you will also enjoy this as well. John Williams says Psycho 2 is probably a 4-star. Psycho 2 is great. That's going to be in, I believe, the second episode. Either the second or third. I know I've already watched it and written the script for the episode. And I believe I gave it either a 4. I think I gave it either a 4. I don't think I gave that a 4.5. I think I gave it a 4. That movie's really good. It's a really good movie. But there's a lot that is really good. And there's a lot of stuff to watch. I've been watching some of the stuff here. I kind of wish that I could invite some customers over and be like, "Hey, you want to watch Geek Maggot Bingo with me?" But no, I don't think the customers would be that into it. But yeah, before I go, any other questions? If you've got any other questions, put them up in the chat, and I will answer your questions before I head out. I know I've been trying to catch up on some of the regular releases that I've been missing out. I finally watched Abigail, put that off for a while, and I finally got around to watching Abigail, and I thought it was really good. And then the last 15 minutes, it really dropped the ball, and that was the stopper for me, because I was really having a good time with it. I didn't not like the ending, but they were heading in a direction and they went a different direction, and I didn't like the direction that they went. But it was still a really good time. I finally watched Winnie the Pooh 2, Blood and Honey, which I thought was fine. It was like 10% better than the first one, but the first one was god-awful and not that enjoyable. But Alex asked if I enjoyed the 30s or 40s movies more. I've only watched the 40s movies of 1940, which just came out. 1941 comes out in a couple of weeks, and I've already watched the movies of 1942. And so it's hard to say. It's hard for me to judge that because I haven't really gotten into it. But I will say that I think that I enjoy the 30s more. The Hays Code has really been holding back the movies of the 40s. I'm liking some of the comedy horror stuff that the 40s has been doing, but it gets a little monotonous. So, um, Sean, man, I wish I knew, man. This is what is happening with the film industry is so crazy right now. I don't know what's going on. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. My wife is also in the industry, as I've talked about before, and she, she's working on a show, but the show ends in a couple of days, and there's not much filming. But I think now this is going to be this next 2 or 3 months is going to be the test of what's going to happen here, because all of the negotiations are now done. Teamsters have said everyone has signed contracts, so all the contracts are now complete. So now we'll see if everything goes back up into somewhat normal mode. We'll find out, but I don't know. It's not going to go back to 2021, post-pandemic level production, because I think everyone's scaling back a bit. But I think it'll probably go back to what it was pre-pandemic. We'll see. I don't know. It's anyone's ball game at this point. I have not seen Maxine yet. That is one that I have slated to watch very shortly, but I have not seen that one yet. I'm really behind on watching current releases. That has been the really tough thing for me, because I'm watching most of the stuff for the channel, and I just haven't had a chance to watch the new big releases until after they've been out for a while, because I'm either watching things for content or I'm watching movies while I'm editing. And if I'm watching while I'm editing, I don't really want something that I want to pay attention to, like something that's kind of important, or something that I think that I'm really going to enjoy, or something that has a lot behind it. I won't watch while I'm editing, because I want to pay attention to it and really give it my focus. So I'm putting that off for a little bit more, but I will get to that soon, very soon. But the worst thing that happened at the end of the 5 to 6 month gap between cinema, home, and digital releases, there's a lot of things that have been really bad. That is certainly one of them. But honestly, it's the thing that the film industry is going to have to deal with now is things like YouTube, things like TikTok, things like Instagram videos. There's so much content out there, and free and quick content now, that's all competition for television and movies that has never been had before, and they're going to have to figure out how to deal with it. And if they don't figure out how to deal with it, then they're going to die. And I don't know if it's going to die a quick death or a slow death. Maybe it is a slow death, and maybe we're just seeing it, starting to spiral out. But they're going to have to adapt, and we'll see how they do. But all right, on that note, guys, I'm going to head on out. Again, 80s Project 1981 instructions are right below you in the description on how to get your copy. Please pre-order within the next couple of days, because I will place out my orders and get them shipped out to you guys. But thanks for joining me. I'm going to be live again on Tuesday for some horror trivia. It looks like you guys want 7 p.m. PST, which will not be good for our international guys that want to play, but for you guys out there, I think you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be some different rules and some different things going on in this trivia. So if you're played before and you've been frustrated by not being able to type as fast, or having more lag, then you're going to enjoy this trivia, because I'm switching it up a little bit. So tune in on Tuesday, and I will see you guys very shortly. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.